Hey there, fellow Americans. Breaking news that you absolutely need to hear right now: the long-awaited fourth stimulus package has finally been approved, and $8,000 direct deposits are hitting bank accounts this Tuesday. Before we dive deep into this life-changing update, if you want to stay informed about stimulus checks, government benefits, and money-saving tips, make sure to hit that subscribe button and turn on notifications. Trust me, you don't want to miss out on crucial financial updates that could put thousands in your pocket. Let me start by addressing the question that's probably racing through your mind right now: is this really happening? Yes, it absolutely is. After months of political deadlock and negotiations, the Internal Revenue Service has officially confirmed that eligible Americans will receive their fourth stimulus payment through direct deposit starting this Tuesday. But here's what makes this round different: it's substantially larger than previous payments, with many households qualifying for up to $8,000 in financial assistance. You might be wondering, who exactly qualifies for this payment? Well, this is where things get interesting, and you'll want to pay close attention because the eligibility criteria have been adjusted from previous stimulus rounds. The government has recognized that many middle-class families are still struggling with inflation and rising costs, so they've expanded the income thresholds. Single filers earning up to $75,000 annually and joint filers making up to $150,000 will receive the full amount. But don't worry if you earn more: there's a gradual phase out up to $95,000 for individuals and $170,000 for couples filing jointly. Let's talk about something that many of you have been asking in the comments of my previous videos: what about dependents? This time around, the stimulus package includes additional support for families with dependents. Each qualifying dependent, regardless of age, will add $1,400 to your total payment. This means a family of 4 could potentially receive the full $8,000. This is particularly significant because it's the first time adult dependents, including college students and elderly parents, are fully included in the stimulus benefits. Now, I know some of you might be skeptical, thinking, we've heard promises before. But here's what makes this announcement different: the IRS has already begun processing payments, and they've implemented a new, more efficient distribution system. Remember those delays from previous stimulus rounds? The IRS has learned from those experiences and has streamlined the process. They've also updated their Get My Payment tool, which will go live this weekend, allowing you to track your stimulus payment status. But here's something crucial you need to know, and this is where many people make mistakes: you must have filed your 2021 tax return to receive this payment automatically. If you haven't filed yet, don't panic. The IRS has extended the deadline specifically for stimulus purposes, but you need to act fast. I'll explain exactly how to ensure you don't miss out on this payment in just a moment. One question that keeps coming up is, what can this money be used for? Unlike some previous government assistance programs, this stimulus payment comes with no restrictions. You can use it for anything: paying off debt, covering daily expenses, investing, or saving for emergencies. However, financial experts recommend prioritizing essential needs and creating an emergency fund if you don't already have one, especially given the current economic climate. Here's something interesting that many people don't realize: this stimulus package also includes additional benefits beyond the direct payment. The government has incorporated several tax credits and deductions that could put even more money in your pocket. For instance, the child tax credit has been enhanced, and there are new deductions for healthcare expenses related to COVID-19. I'll be making a detailed video about these additional benefits tomorrow, so make sure you're subscribed to catch that important information. Let's address another common concern: what if I don't have direct deposit set up with the IRS? While direct deposit is the fastest way to receive your stimulus payment, the IRS will also be sending paper checks and EIP cards starting next week. However, these physical payments may take an additional 2-3 weeks to arrive. If you want to switch to direct deposit, I'll show you exactly how to do that through the IRS portal in just a minute. Now, here's something vital that many news outlets aren't talking about: this stimulus package includes a special provision for small business owners and self-employed individuals. If you fall into either of these categories, you might be eligible for additional support beyond the $8,000 stimulus payment. This includes expanded tax credits and new grant opportunities. Don't worry if this sounds complicated, I'll break it down step by step. You might be thinking, what's the catch? Surprisingly, there isn't one. This stimulus package is part of a larger economic recovery plan aimed at addressing the ongoing impacts of the pandemic and inflation. The government has recognized that many Americans are still facing financial challenges, even as the economy shows signs of improvement. This payment is designed to provide immediate relief while supporting long-term economic stability. Let's talk about timing. Why Tuesday? The IRS chose this specific date to ensure all systems are properly updated and tested. They've learned from previous rollouts and want to avoid any technical glitches that could delay payments. The first wave of deposits will begin at midnight Eastern Time on Tuesday, though it might take 24-48 hours for the money to appear in your account, depending on your bank. Here's a crucial piece of advice: make sure your banking information on file with the IRS is current. If you've changed banks since your last tax return or stimulus payment, you need to update this information immediately. The good news is that the IRS has created a simple online portal for making these updates, and I'll show you exactly how to use it in a moment. Many of you have asked about the impact on other government benefits. Rest assured, this stimulus payment will not affect your eligibility for other assistance programs like SNAP, Medicaid, or unemployment benefits. The IRS has explicitly classified these payments as non-taxable income, meaning they won't impact your tax liability for the current year. Now, let's address something that's causing some confusion: the difference between this stimulus payment and other government assistance programs. This $8,000 payment is separate from any other benefits you might be receiving. It's a one-time payment designed to provide immediate financial relief, while other programs offer ongoing support. However, receiving this stimulus doesn't disqualify you from applying for or receiving other forms of assistance. Here's an important tip that could save you time and stress: gather your necessary documentation now. You'll need your Social Security number, latest tax return, and current banking information. Having these ready will make the process smoother if you need to verify your eligibility or update your information with the IRS. Let's talk about security for a moment, because unfortunately, scammers are already trying to take advantage of this situation. Remember, the IRS will never call, email, or text you asking for personal information related to your stimulus payment. If someone contacts you claiming to be from the IRS and asks for sensitive information, it's a scam. All official communication will come through the mail, and you can verify your payment status through the official IRS website only. For those of you who received previous stimulus payments, you might be wondering about the income verification process. The good news is that if you qualified for previous payments and your income hasn't significantly changed, you should automatically qualify for this one. However, if your income or family situation has changed, you might need to submit additional documentation through the IRS portal. Here's something interesting about the economic impact of these payments. Economists predict that this stimulus round could have an even more significant effect on the economy than previous ones. Why? Because many Americans are in a better position to use this money for discretionary spending rather than just catching up on bills, which could provide a substantial boost to local businesses. Now, let's discuss what you should do if Tuesday comes and you don't see the payment in your account. Don't panic. The IRS is releasing payments in waves, and while the first batch goes out Tuesday, it might take up to 2 weeks for all eligible recipients to receive their deposits. The Get My Payment tool will show you exactly when to expect your payment. For those of you wondering about state-level stimulus programs, yes, this federal payment is separate from any state-specific stimulus programs. Several states are still running their own stimulus programs, which means you could potentially qualify for additional support beyond this $8,000 federal payment. I'll be covering state-specific programs in detail in my next video, so make sure you're subscribed to catch that information. Let's talk about planning. What's the best way to use this money? While everyone's situation is different, financial advisors recommend creating a priority list. Consider immediate needs first, then debt repayment, and finally, if possible, set aside some for savings or investment. Remember, this is a significant amount of money that could make a real difference in your financial situation if used strategically. Here's a lesser-known aspect of the stimulus package that could benefit many of you. There's a special provision for those who owe back taxes or other federal debts. Unlike previous stimulus payments, this round cannot be garnished for federal debts, including back taxes or student loan payments. This ensures that those who need the money most will receive the full amount. As we wrap up this important update, let me remind you of the key steps you need to take right now. First, make sure your banking information is up to date with the IRS. Second, check that you filed your 2021 tax return. And third, bookmark the Get My Payment tool page so you can track your payment status starting this weekend. Remember, this is just the beginning of what could be a series of economic relief measures. The government is already discussing additional support programs, and I'll be covering all of these developments on this channel. If you haven't already, now is the perfect time to subscribe and turn on notifications so you don't miss any crucial updates that could affect your financial future. Stay tuned for tomorrow's video, where I'll be diving deep into the additional tax credits and benefits included in this stimulus package. Until then, keep an eye on your bank account this Tuesday, and let me know in the comments if you have any questions about the stimulus payment process. Together, we'll navigate these important financial developments and make sure you get every dollar you're entitled to receive.